Hey beginner guitar junkies, welcome back. Today's video has a specific purpose. We're going to talk about our new system. Today is the day. We put out some recent short videos talking about our new speakers that we got, our FRFRs, right? So now our modelers match our amps. So the video is about the challenges that we faced setting this stuff up, getting the required accessories to get everything connected, and then tweaking everything, the challenges that we face today and we will face as we move forward with this new system setup, all right? So check it out. Here it comes. Get ready. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right, guys, this is the setup. We've got two Headrush FRFR 108s. These are Gen 2s. They have the Bluetooth. We may or may not implement the Bluetooth. We'll have to see. We've got them about, I'd say they're between 7 and 8 feet apart. That's to create some good separation between the two speakers to fill the room. We've got them elevated because on the floor they sounded quite bassy. So when we got them up off the floor, put them on these chairs and put them up vertically, they sounded much better. So we have to figure out where we're going to tuck all this wiring because it could be a trip hazard. So here, right, is the back. I've got it facing out so you can see each channel left and right has its own volume control. We've got it set on 3 and the cable going in, and the reason we have it set up on 3 is because we could easily bury the Spark amp, which was pushing out our backing track, on the AC/DC song that you're going to see shortly, right? So we had to play a song through these, so we're going to share that with you. You can see the cable. This is set up. You could it'll accept XLR or TRS cables. So we've got XLR to a TRS from the gig board to the XLR to the speaker. Okay. The yellow light is the high pass filter, which we have engaged. Just reduces some of that hum. We didn't have any grounding issues that we noticed when we first played, so that's a good thing. I'm not saying we won't later, but we are trying to figure out how to mitigate that as we go. And I've got the Spark set up right there next to the FRFR. The gig board is right here. I've got it set up on the bar stool so it is easier to navigate through and set up new rigs. Now I'm going to try to create a couple new rigs because I want to dial it into the new system. Right, I've already had to tweak some of the rigs that we created on the modelers. You know, we created a bunch of rigs, so we've got to tweak them because we built them on the Spark. And they do sound a little different, so they've got to be tweaked. The ones that came, we've played 2 rigs that were already preloaded with these modelers, and they sounded okay. It was the ones that we created that sounded a little different. And here is the tablet that we use to push out the backing track. So the tablet links to the Spark via Bluetooth, and that's where a lot of the problems have been, right? So the connection issues, sometimes it's good and sometimes it's not, but our other option is going to be just hardwiring into a line 6, which I have in my office behind those red doors. That will be hardwired and we won't have an issue as far as connection because it's hardwired from a device to the amp. Anyway, that's the setup. Coming at you is Highway to Hell, AC/DC cover. Hey. Yeah, we're up. All right, let's debrief this. So we've got a lot to talk about. I don't want to make it too long. So let's start with the why we're doing this. We were not happy with the Spark system by Positive Grid. I mean, it's great for practice, but we're moving on from that. We're taking on different challenges and expanding our catalog, playing songs that have multiple tones, and you've got clean to distortion, rhythm to lead, and I made the jump at the Positive Grid foot switch to be able to transition through those when we're playing these songs. It never worked right. I returned it and got a refund. And you certainly can't do it on the app manually on the device, the phone or a tablet. You just can't do that while you're in the middle of a song. Plus, we're doing it in front of a camera. So it just wasn't working out, and we had connection issues. The Bluetooth would drop, the amps would shut down, the app would seize up. I mean, it was just issue after issue. A lot of people love them. When they work great, they're great. But when they don't work, it's nothing but frustration, and that kills your motivation to play, right? So we needed something more reliable, so we had to graduate to something that was a little bit more stage-worthy. Not that we're gigging, because we're nowhere near gigging yet. That could be a goal. We'll see. So evaluating other amps that were stage-worthy. You play a backing track through them, it's not the same sound because those are designed to play a guitar through. So, and that's another thing we noticed with the Positive Grid. There were volume swells. There's like a challenge going on, playing the backing track and you're playing through the same 2-3-inch speakers on that system. You're losing volume on one and the other one is increasing without controlling it, right? It's just doing it on its own. That's a problem, especially when you're recording. So we decided to study the FRFRs, and we went with the Headrush because they're supposed to be paired with the Headrush modeler. It's the same company, and they integrate with one another perfectly. It was a challenge getting the couple rigs that we dialed in today. You're playing through a different system. These have 8-inch drivers and a cone tweeter, so they sound different. So we had to tweak the rigs because those were designed and put together on the Positive Grid. So it sounds different. Wasn't a big deal, but it took some work. I was getting a little frustrated, but we finally dialed it in, and we were able to play Highway to Hell. We used the industrial rig that was preset. It's a preset that was already loaded in the Headrush, and it sounded great. The mix was great because we had them set up identically, right? Mine was set on 3 on the speaker itself. Chris's was on 3. Our volumes, I think, were really close on the modeler. And then we just fine-tuned it on the guitar. So when the solo came, I kind of bumped up my volume a little bit instead of creating, I don't think there's a lead pedal on that. It's just a basic rig. So I could tweak that and do a boost if I want. But I was able to do it just with the guitar, pushing up the volume a little bit for the solo and the fills. So ultimately, it was a win-win. I always say that when it's a win-win. This is the right way to go, especially if you're doing what we're doing. I highly recommend it. The only challenge is the tweaking doesn't stop there, right? I've got a ton of rigs, we both do, that we're going to have to tweak to get them to sound right on these new systems. But once they're done, okay? And of course you could download rigs for these modelers too. You hook them up to the computer, you can get a rig that way. But when you play it through here, it's not like playing through the headset. You're playing through the FRFR, right? It's going to sound different. Just like when we played them on the Sparks, they sounded different. So that's where the frustration was. But all in all, it's just going to take time and labor to do it. It's not heavy lifting, but it's just technical stuff. And the ability to do the stereo thing is really huge too, because you can't do that with the Spark. Not the way you can do it with the separation on these FRFRs, playing in true stereo. Now, I'll have to go into the modeler and set it up to play in stereo, but hey, so what? It'll be great. But when we get to that, I don't know when we'll do that. That'll probably be our next challenge, that we try to set up stereo. The only drawback is that not getting that Bluetooth connection to where the backing track will play through both speakers in stereo. It's only going to come through one, which is why we kind of set up the Positive Grid as the backing track speaker. And it worked pretty well. It actually held its own. So if there's a positive out of the Spark being relegated to just the backing track, it worked really well. So we'll continue to use that unless we want to play louder because we're playing in a larger environment or whatever. Then we might lose it on the Spark and have to try something else like playing through the FRFR. Or I'll break out the Line 6 and plug the device in and hardwire it and play it through that. We could always do that. But again, that's a guitar amp. It's not going to sound exactly like the Positive Grid or the FRFR. They're all going to sound a little bit different. So these are the sound challenges that we're dealing with. But it's a cool challenge. And we're actually looking at getting a mixer to have even more control. So our main goal out of all this, after all it's said and done, this long, drawn-out debrief, is we wanted more control. Guess what? We have it now. So be careful what you wish for. We have complete control of everything. So it is what it is. So we're going to control everything. It's just going to take some time. Anyway, I think that is it. You want to debrief the song? I'm not going to. It was Highway to Hell. That was the first song we ever played together 2.5 years ago when I first put my hands on a guitar. So we haven't played it in forever. It's been a while. And I played the rhythm back then. Then I eventually learned the solo when I started doing some lead stuff. I had it locked in, and it was a train wreck today. But the goal, right, our target was not to debrief the song. It was to talk about the gear and everything as far as the new FRFRs that we're using. So we're really happy with the progression and where we're at and what we got with these things. It's awesome. So if it's something you're thinking about, right now we recommend it. So like and subscribe, right? Share the journey. Get those reps. Peace. Right? So different amps. Anyway. Why? Why? All right. I don't know where you're at. Yeah. Probably about the same. Yeah, 9. Listen, we were talking about, what were we talking about? We're running the backing track. The Positive Grid, that Spark 40 watt, has been relegated to just pushing out backing tracks. Am I going to have to fucking edit this again? The less editing I have to do, the better and the easier this is.
That's a little bit more muted, right?
I like industrial.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's industrial.
This video has a specific purpose today, right? Maybe even a special purpose. So if you saw some of our shorts, our shorts, yeah, did you see our shorts? We're not wearing shorts, we're wearing jeans. It's too cold for shorts.